Hey guys, Malika Semper here from Malika Semper Astrology and Capricorns. This video is for you guys. We're going to look at the year 2026 for you guys in depth and see what's coming in. So let's get started here. The first thing that we're noticing is that the planet Neptune is moving into Aries for this year. This can be a little bit tricky for you guys. I'll describe it here in a moment, but those Capricorns born between December 22nd and 27th, you guys are going to feel this the most. So pay attention. When Neptune moves into Aries, Aries is funky energy for you guys. Aries squares you guys. And so Neptune coming in to square you, Capricorn, it can feel a little bit like a confusing year. Remember, not all Capricorns, just those born between December 22nd and 27th. It can feel a little bit like you're floaty. You like to be grounded. You like to know the plan. You like to have consistent rhythms to your days. Neptune coming in to square you guys, it sort of makes you floaty, wishy-washy energy. Things are a little bit cloudy and foggy and unclear. Not your favorite energy, Capricorn. And so knowing how to maneuver this sort of ungrounded energy for the year is going to be important for you guys. It could also make you extra sensitive. Capricorn is not necessarily known for sensitivity and being vulnerable. And so these could be big lessons in how to open up your heart, how to feel things deeply, and sort of see the gifts of Neptune coming in. It does make you guys very creative for the year. And it also brings in a bit of like a psychic tendency or a really strong intuition. But you guys then second guess that intuition or doubt it even sometimes. So, working with that, the trust and the surrender of you truly knowing. Right. At the core of you, you truly can trust your gut instincts. And so Neptune is teaching you all of those lessons this year. Then we also have Saturn moving into Aries. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That doesn't happen until I believe February, maybe even April. We'll get to it. However, the beginning of the year, oh my gosh, there is so much Capricorn energy. There are 5 planets in Earth. So in January, you guys start the year off with a bang. There are 4 planets in Capricorn. You guys are feeling yourselves. You guys are in the groove under the sky. It's like you guys are the CEO of the heavens, right? You guys are coming in hot with 4 planets in Capricorn. And this is all happening the first 2 weeks of January. So the first half of the month, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, all of those are in Capricorn. You guys are in the groove. You guys are in the flow of life. You're feeling strong. You're feeling steady. You're feeling grounded. You know how to move under this January sky. It feels really, really good to you. Now, something to note as well, January through June, so the first half of 2026, the planet Jupiter is over in Cancer. Cancer is your opposite sign. So Jupiter is going to be opposing you guys, Capricorn, especially those Capricorns born between January 6th and January 20th. You guys are going to feel this the most. Um, this brings in this brings in a wave of luck for you guys the first half of the year, but it also brings in overwhelm. So I really want you guys to be super mindful of what you're saying yes to, because the tendency is to say yes to everything because it all feels really good and it's sort of like it feels really expansive and it's growing you and it's feels very abundant. But because you have this energy of saying yes to everything, Capricorn, for the first half of the year, you can also reach depletion or overwhelm quite easily. So moderation is key for January through June for you guys. Okay. It's all good things coming in with Jupiter, but we do reach a point where we're like, oh my God, I've overcommitted, I've overpromised, so on and so forth. Okay. So try to eliminate that overwhelm by using moderation. And then let's see what else is coming in here for you. January 18th, You guys sort of show off with this new moon in Capricorn. So you guys rule the sky once again. New moon in Capricorn, as if we don't have enough Capricorn in the sky at this point. This is going to feel really good for Capricorns, especially those born between January 16th and January 22nd. It's right on your head. Um, it's right on top of you, this new moon. So you are really in your element. You feel the steadiness, the strength, the power, the earthy groundedness in mid-January. Then things start to shift a little bit. Okay. So moving into February, this is where Saturn moves into Aries now. And Saturn is going to be in Aries all year. It's going to affect you, Capricorn, but especially those born between December 22nd and January 5th. You guys are going to feel this the most. You have Saturn squaring you guys. This creates a little bit of a rigidity for Capricorn for the rest of the whole entire year. It can feel like it's a year of work with Saturn squaring you guys. It can feel like it's a year where you're like showing up for the tedious tasks. You are moving through that huge pile of paperwork that your boss put on your desk. You are having to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. You're having to sort of put the effort in. It can feel a little bit challenging, the work that's being put on your lap. It can have this feeling of like walking uphill a bit this year. Again, especially those born between December 22nd and January 5th are going to feel the square of Saturn. And Saturn wants you to put in the effort. Saturn wants you to do the hard work. And when you do that, it pays off. So not turning away from it, showing up to the challenge or the conflict or the heavy lifting. You guys aren't afraid of hard work, Capricorn. And so it is this slow and steady climb uphill for a little bit. It's the undertone of the year, okay, for you guys. Moving into March, March 3rd, we have an eclipse coming in that's really going to affect you guys. So there's a full moon eclipse in Virgo. You guys like this. This is supportive. You guys love your Virgo friends. Virgo is a fellow earth sign, and you know how to move and groove with this Virgo energy. Now, an eclipse, let's just talk about that for a moment. An eclipse is fast-paced change coming in. An eclipse makes things happen overnight. There isn't like preparing for it or planning for the change coming in. An eclipse comes in and it's accelerated energy. Everything is sped up. And eclipses are here to really grow us. We're, moving up to the next level soulfully of our evolution. And so this eclipse, the whole sky, it's a full moon eclipse, is lit up with Virgo energy. This feels really good to you, Capricorn. You can do this little happy dance as you receive really supportive energy from this Virgo eclipse. Okay. So March 3rd, it's a great supportive eclipse for you guys. Then we move into March 6th, and here we have a little bit of tension brought into love life. So March 6th, the planet of love, Venus, enters Aries. And, so for March, your guys' relationships, your love life, you have to work a little extra hard at your relationships. It can just sort of feel challenging. It can feel like there's tension within partnerships. You have to do some extra, you have to put in some extra effort. You have to do some heavy lifting in relationships, which you actually enjoy putting in hard work and effort. So there you go. A little hard work never hurt anybody, right? But relationships can feel a bit tense in March for you guys. Okay. The end of March, there's relief. So then Venus enters Taurus, which, if you remember, Taurus is your best friend. And this just gives you guys relief in partnerships again. The flow is there again. Partnerships can finally flourish again. The tension is gone. You've done the work in March, and then the very end of March, there's relief in partnerships through April. Okay. Um, Now, partnerships are a bit smoother in April, but there are some things that can sort of throw a wedge in things. So, the first thing coming in, it could be a challenging April for you, Capricorn. The first thing coming in, April 1st, April Fool's Day, there is a new moon in Libra. Libra's hard energy for you guys. Libra's pretty flirty, flighty, light energy, flitting from one thing to the next, very social, very charming. There can also be a little bit of a luxuriousness or a laziness to Libra, if I may. And Capricorn, you don't necessarily appreciate that sort of energy. So the whole sky is lit up with Libra energy on April 1st, and it just has you feeling a bit uncomfortable under the sky. There are things for you to learn, Capricorn, from Libra energy. So staying open-minded and seeing what Libra has to teach you, but it does square you. And so this can be especially challenging for those Capricorns born between January 1st through the 5th. Okay. There's a little bit more challenges coming in April, April 9th and 14th. Mercury and Mars move into Aries. Remember, Aries is funky energy for you guys. It's fiery. Aries can be quite like aggressive, very assertive, very blunt. There's not a lot of thought to when Aries takes action. They just know they want it and they jump in. You're much more strategic than that Capricorn. You're much more needing the plan and having done your research, right? And so when the planet of communication and the planet of physical and sexual energy moves into Aries, it can sort of make you fumble through your conversations. It can also make you feel a little bit held back in forward movement with these squares. So for all of April, you guys are going to have to work extra hard, Capricorn, at your communication, the way that you express yourself. When it's in Aries, it can cause fights. It can be like you're saying something and suddenly everyone's pissed off at you and you didn't even mean to piss everybody off, but that's how they took it, right? And even your energy can feel a bit clunky. It's not as, when Mars is in Aries for you, Capricorn, it can feel like there is an expression needing to come up and out, but the way that we do that can feel quite competitive. Like there's a competitive nature, maybe when we didn't mean for it to be competitive. It's like we're constantly butting heads or feeling challenged by people or with people. So, April, you have to pay extra attention to the way you communicate, the way you string your words together. And it's not the easiest month in moving forward as well. Okay. April 17th, the new moon is in Aries, and there are six planets in Aries. I mean, maybe Capricorn for the month of April, you don't leave your house. I don't know. The sun, the moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune are all in Aries. That is crazy, outrageous Aries energy. And Capricorn, you want nothing to do with Aries, right? So it just feels like you're getting hit extra hard in April. That new moon, right, in Aries in April also doesn't help. There's something for you to learn about Aries energy, Capricorn. Turn to your Aries friends if you have any Aries friends and seek wisdom from them, learn from them. Okay. Finally, there's some relief come May. Um, Communication comes back to you in a really beautiful way. So Mercury enters Taurus and it gives you just grace with words again. People finally understand what you're trying to say. It's easier for you to express yourself under the sky because Taurus is your friend and Taurus supports you in a trine. Okay. So communication is shitty in April, but it's really beautiful come May again. Okay. Um, and then Taurus is supporting you some more in May. May 16th, there is a beautiful new moon in Taurus. And this feels really good for you, Capricorn. It feels grounding. There's a lot of logic and practicality, and things just make sense to you under a new moon in Taurus sky. It just makes for a happy little goat. Our little Capricorns, especially those of you born between January 13th and January 19th. Okay, you're loving this. You guys deserve this after the month of April you've had. So May, all this Taurus influence feels just super grounded, nurturing to you guys and soothing to you guys as well. Hey. And then looking at June, you're feeling the good vibes through June as well. You also end the month of June. You have a full moon in your sign, June 29th. The whole sky lights up with Capricorn energy. Um, So this feels very supportive for you guys in June, especially those Capricorns born between December 27th and January 2nd. Things are moving along beautifully. There's flow in your world, especially in your emotional world. The moon, right? Always speaks to our private life and our emotional realm. So things at home, our heart energy, all of those seem to be in flow towards the end of June. And then we also have July 9th, that planet of love moves into Virgo. You love Virgo energy, it supports you. It's a fellow earth sign, right? So relationships flourish again in July very well for you, Capricorn. There's a sense of ease, a sense of comfort in your love life for all of July. Then we get to August, where there is a little bit of tension within relationships. So Venus moves into Libra, and Libra creates that tension for you guys. So July, love life is blossoming and blooming. Come August, there's a little bit of work, a little bit of tension, a little bit of awkwardness coming into relationships, okay, for August. Um, and then we also have, August 25th, Mercury moves into Virgo. This is also giving you a lot of strength with your voice and your self-expression and saying what you mean and meaning what you say and it being received well. Okay. So that's really good news for you guys towards the end of August. Communication is really great for you guys. End of August into September. Send the email, pick up the phone, write the text, all of those things. It's going to be received well from you guys. Um, Now we have, an eclipse coming in the end of August that actually feels really good to you guys. So there's a full moon eclipse in Pisces at the end of August, August 27th. The whole sky lights up with Pisces energy. It is an eclipse. So everything feels extra heightened, extra emotional, extra sensitive. And there is a lot of learning that comes in and this leveling up. We are here to really soulfully evolve under eclipse energy. Now, Pisces energy is actually really supportive to you guys. It's a water sign. Capricorn, you guys are earth. You appreciate the water signs. Um, and so Pisces comes in and sextiles you. A sextile is a very supportive aspect in astrology. And you're feeling the loveliness of this Pisces eclipse at the end of August. And you're feeling the ease of those Pisces waters as you dip your toes in the water and just feel the nurturing, the emotional comfort that Pisces can bring you guys. This eclipse is going to be especially felt by you, Capricorn, born between December 23rd and December 29th. Okay, so a lot of big things coming in for you guys under this eclipse that tends to feel in harmony. Now, more support coming in for you guys September 10th. We have a new moon in Virgo, and you guys couldn't be happier under the sky. You're feeling comfy, you're feeling in your element with this trine. And, okay, so there's the emotional comfort coming in. However, Mercury does move into Libra, giving you guys a pause in the way of communication. So, emotionally and home life in September, Capricorn feels to be in the flow, super supported with Virgo energy, but communications you have to work extra hard at in September. Let's go back to that moon in Virgo in September. Those Capricorns born between January 6th and 12th are going to feel the support of that new moon in Virgo the most. You guys are going to feel at most at ease in your private life, emotional life, home life feels really good. Okay. January 6th through the 12th, those of you born then. But that darn planet of communication moving into Libra, you need to pause before you speak, Capricorn, because it's not going to be met in the way that you want it to be met. There's just more effort being put into the way that you express yourself and how you say it. It's just discomfort in the way of communication for a little bit with this square. Now, September 26th, there is a full moon coming in at Aries, and this just gives you Capricorn like the willy-nillys, a full moon in Aries. You just want to try to hide from it a little bit, right? It squares you. And so the whole sky all the heavens lighting up with Aries energy can feel quite challenging for you at the end of September, especially those Capricorns born between December 22nd and 28th. It's super big energy. It's super assertive energy. It's loud energy. It can be obnoxious energy. And you guys are a little bit more refined than that. So, not the most comfortable energy at the end of September. Um, Adding to that, come October, there's a new moon in Libra, October 10th. Um, Libra also isn't your favorite archetype to work with, your favorite energy to work with. It just sort of gives you the heebie-jeebies a little bit during this new moon as you try to sort of find your quiet solitude, and this really uplifted, energetic, chatty sign of Libra. Is sort of getting in your way. You just want to get some work done. You just want everybody to stop talking at you, right? But that Libra energy, the beginning of October, um, could feel frustrating to you guys, especially those Capricorns born between January 5th and January 11th. Okay. Then finally, October 25th, just in time for Halloween, we have a beautiful full moon in Taurus. And now, Capricorn, you're feeling this again. That full moon in Taurus can have you dancing in the streets in the supportive trine, after your work is done, of course, of course. But Taurus is here to support you. You feel the solidity, the nurturing, the calm of this full moon, and that feels really good to you. You can thrive under that energy. So October 25th, the end of October, your groove comes back, Capricorn, especially those born between December 22nd through December 27th. Let's talk about the holidays coming up in 2026. So, um, Thanksgiving looks to be very good for you guys. You have the planet Mars moving into Virgo. Virgo is your best friend, Capricorn. It just makes you feel extra productive, and extra good in your Thanksgiving planning with this supportive trine. What you are trying to accomplish, the energy you are putting in, the effort you are putting in, is supported. There is an easy sense of progressive movement forward. There aren't any delays or limitations or blockages in any sort of movement forward, right? You are supported by this very earthy trine. That's really great news for Thanksgiving. And then looking at Christmas time, 2026. This is funny. The planet Mercury moves into your sign on Christmas Day. So, this is intellectual connection, mental stimulation. You guys are excited this holiday to connect with others in a very intellectual way. You're excited to share stories, to hear stories. Expression for you is super easy. Conversation comes easy. Communication is in flow. You guys, Capricorn, are the chatty ones this holiday season, and it just feels good to connect with people. You want to be social when Mercury moves into Capricorn. Generally, you're maybe not the most social sign of the zodiac, but this will help you sort of want to open up and have conversations of intrigue and curiosity, okay, around Christmas. So, thank you for watching, Capricorn. I wish you a beautiful 2026, and I will be back soon.